Hello, I'm Maury. Welcome to my YouTube. In this YouTube video, I'm going to talk about the manuals that you didn't get when you bought a Yamaha PSR E463 keyboard. When you did buy that keyboard, you got this manual. It's the owner's manual, and it's 85 pages long. It's not real well written, but at least it's better than nothing. So, for example, there are 758 different voices in the keyboard. How do I find a list of all the voices in the keyboard? What page is that on? It's not in here. Okay. What if I want to find a list of all of the styles? Let's see. There's 235 different styles. What page is that on? Guess what? It's not in here. Okay, how about all of the harmonies? There's different kind of harmonies. There's 26 different harmonies. Where do I find a list of what the harmonies are? Guess what? It's not in here. All of those things are in other manuals. So this is what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to, first of all, show you how to go onto the internet and get the manuals and download them. You can put them in your computer, you can put them in an iPhone, you can put them in your iPad, your Android. It doesn't matter because all of the documents are PDF, portable data format. That means anybody with any technology can download them, look at them, and print them without having to have any software. Over the last 5 months, I have created 20 different YouTube videos helping people learn how to get more out of this little Yamaha PSR E463 keyboard. So this is my 21st video helping people figure out how to use that E463 keyboard. So there are 6 manuals altogether. We know about the owner's manual. That's the one and only manual that comes with it. And if you open this up on page 11, page 11 actually talks about the other manuals. And what it says is you need to log on to this Yamaha website and you can download these manuals. So I'm going to actually list in the comments on this YouTube, I will have the URL that you need to go to so that you can download these manuals directly. So you don't have to try to figure out how to get into Yamaha's website. It's not all that simple. I learned the hard way. I'm going to make it simple for you. So one of the manuals, and probably the most important one, is the data list. This is the manual that has the entire list of all 758 voices in that keyboard. It has the entire list of all 235 of the different styles. It has an alphabetical list of the 60 demo songs that you can play in your keyboard. By the way, there's only 30 of them installed, but I'm going to show you where to go to get the other songs that you can play as demos. The data list manual has a complete list of all 26 of those harmonies. It has a list of all of the 149 different arpeggios. And by the way, I've done complete videos on these harmonies and these arpeggios, how to load them in and how to use them. There are 12 different reverbs, and this data list manual has a list of them. There are 5 choruses, and there's 10 different types of DSP, digital signal processing. All of that information is in one manual called the data list. What if you want to hook up your keyboard, your E463, to an iPad or an iPhone? Well, it turns out there's a manual for that. And I'm going to show you how to download it. It's 17 pages long, and it has pictures and illustrations. It shows you exactly how to hook up an iPhone or an iPad to your PSR E463. What about MIDI? Well, there's a 4-page, real simple, a little 4-page manual that is MIDI basics. And I'll show you how to download that. There is a songbook. It's 171 pages long, and it is the actual sheet music. I printed one out. It's the sheet music of the demo songs that come preloaded in your keyboard. Plus, you can download additional songs, and I'm going to show you how to get all of those additional songs. They all are MIDI, and they play as demos in your keyboard. So there's the songbook. And then finally, there's one called the MIDI reference. Don't waste your time. It's only 3 pages long. Folks, I've been playing with MIDI probably 30, 32 years. And I looked at this manual and I said, no way, there is nothing in this manual that was of any value or interest to me whatsoever. And I kind of really know what I'm doing with MIDI. So trust me, 99.9% of us don't want this manual. You can look at it, but it's techno garble speak way over the heads and basically totally unnecessary. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my Macintosh computer and I'm going to record the screen, and I'll show you where to go on the Yamaha website to download the manuals. And then I'll go inside each manual just briefly. I'm not going to take 45 minutes to take you completely through every manual. That's not my purpose. I just want you to know the manual exists and have a good idea of what's inside it, so you can decide, is that a manual that I would like to have? And if so, you're going to have the knowledge you need with your iPhone or your iPad or your Windows computer or your Macintosh. With a click or two of your finger or your mouse, you can download these documents. I have all of these documents in my Macintosh, and I have them in my iPhone, and I have them in my iPad. So I didn't bother to print them out because I have them instantly available no matter which one of my technology pieces I pick up. So let's go to the Mac. I'll start by taking you to the magic Yamaha website where you can download the manuals, and I've already done that and put them in a folder. And then I'll go briefly into each of the manuals so you can see what's inside. Ready? Let's go to the Mac. Here we go. Here we are at my Macintosh, and I'm going to record my screen. I've just logged into the Yamaha website where I can download the manuals for this PSR E463 keyboard. And I will put this URL in the comments section of my YouTube. So all you'll have to do is click on this and you can come directly to this page. When you get here, what you want to do is scroll down, because near the bottom, these are where the manuals are. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 manuals. Here's the owner's manual. Here is that all-important data list. And I think if you just had 2 manuals, these are the 2 most important ones, okay? And then there's this MIDI reference, and I'll talk about that. And then there's the iPhone iPad connection. If you want to hook up your iPad or your iPhone and record your music in, say, GarageBand, this is going to explain how to hook it up. And then there's a manual called MIDI Basics. For you Windows people, there are some drivers here that are necessary. I'm a Mac guy and an iPhone, iPad. I don't care anything about this, so I'll ignore that. You can look at that if you want to. Then down below are 2 other things. And these are all talked about on page 11 of your owner's manuals. Here is that song book. And it has it's 171 pages long. And it's the sheet music of all of the demo songs that you can play on your keyboard. And then finally, if you click on this, you will download a folder, and that folder is filled with about 40 MIDI songs. And these are demo songs that you can play on your keyboard to demonstrate just how good it can sound. And I have a YouTube video that explains how to load a MIDI file off of a thumb drive, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to put these files on a thumb drive and plug that into your keyboard. Anyway, here are 40 demo songs. With one click of the mouse, you can download those. Okay? So this is where you come, and to download them, you come over here and you'll click on this. I'll do 3 just to show you what it looks like. Ready? Click. And there's the manual. Okay, so this is the owner's manual. And then what I did is I came over here and I said, save this, and I saved it to my hard drive. So here's the owner's manual. And let me scroll down to page 11. Let's see, whoops, where am I at? Page 12. Here we go. On page 11 of your owner's manual, this is where it talks about all of the manuals. And this is where it talks about that songbook and the fact that, oh, it's 70. I said 40 songs. 70 demo songs that you can download. Okay? So why would you want to download the owner's manual when you already have it? The reason is it's kind of hard to see these things sometimes, and by being able to bring it in as a PDF, you can magnify it and make it easier to read. That might be a reason. So the owner's manual, which you already have, if you've bought the keyboard, you should have it. If you've lost it, well, here you go. A lot of people watch this video because they're thinking about buying a keyboard, and they like to watch videos to see what a keyboard can do. I always recommend download the owner's manual of some device or technology that you're thinking about buying, because you can learn a lot by looking at the owner's manual. So for those of you who are thinking about buying this keyboard, go ahead and come here and download this owner's manual. You will learn a lot. Okay, I'm going to close that up. And next I'm going to take you to what I consider the second most important manual, and it's the data list. Okay, let me magnify this up a little bit so it'll be easier for you to read it. Here's what's in this manual. A list of all 758 of the voices, all of the dozens and dozens of different drums, all 235 styles, all 70 of the songs, the 35 different grooves that you can load in, the 26 different harmonies, the 149 different arpeggios, the 12 different reverbs, and the 5 different choruses, and the 10 different DSP, which stands for Digital Signal Processing. So this manual is list of things. And let's start by looking at the voice list. So I'm just going to scroll down. Notice it's in multiple languages. That's nice. Okay. And this is the way they work. This book is a collection of tables. So it says, okay, voice number 1 is the grand piano. So on my keyboard, if I press and hold the voice button, and then with my rotary wheel, if I dial in 1001, I've loaded in the grand piano. If I dial in 014, I've loaded in the funky electric piano. If I dial in 070, I've loaded in the strings. So here you have a list of all 758 of the different voices that you can punch up and load in. The trumpets, the guitars, the bass, the flutes, the world, synthesized pads, drum kits, and it goes on and on and on. We're only halfway through. 758 of them. So this is what you need to know. What is the number here? Because that's what you're going to punch in and dial up to call up a particular instrument. And I'm just going to skip through to the last one. The last one, voice number 758, is fireworks. It so happens you have sound effects. Some of your voices are sound effects. Here's a scream, a laugh, a submarine, a jet plane, a siren, an explosion, sound effects. Okay, so all 758 voices are listed in this table. Next, drums. I don't really use the drums, so I'm just going to skip over that. You can come back here and look at it if you're interested in playing drums on your keyboard. I'm not particularly. Okay, next is styles. You have 235 different styles built into your keyboard, and here they all are. So it tells you what the category is. Here's the 8-beat, and here they all are. So I press the style button, and then with my rotary wheel, I dial in a number. If I dial in 007, that's something called sweet pop. And if I dial in number 74, that's Garage 1. And if I dial in number 62, that is a 70s disco style. So all 235 of your styles are listed here. Okay, what's next? The grooves. I don't use grooves, but if you do, here is a list of the titles of all 35 of the different grooves that you can load in and manipulate. Next is the harmony. And I have a YouTube that explains all about harmony. But here is a list of the 26 different kinds of harmony that you can load into your voices. Duets, trios, countries, trills, tremolos, and echoes. They're all here. Next, arpeggios. And I have a YouTube video that explains everything you need to know about what is an arpeggio and how do you load them in. There are 149 arpeggios built into your keyboard. And here they are all listed. Okay? What's next? Reverbs. And there are 12 different kinds of reverbs, and here they are listed. Hall 1, 2, 3, and 4, Cathedral, Rooms 1, 2, and 3, Stages 1 and 2, Plate 1 and 2, and I have a YouTube video that tells you everything you need to know about the reverbs and how to use them and how to call them up. Okay, so there are 12 of them, and here they are listed. Chorus, flangers. Next is something called DSP, the Digital Signal Processing. And once again, I have a YouTube video that will tell you everything you need to know about the DSP types and how to call them up and use them. And there are 10 rotary speakers, distortions, chorus, flangers, phasers, tremolos, pans, and filters. Okay? And that's the end of it. That's down to page 25. So this manual is nothing but list, page after page of list of styles and grooves and harmonies and voices and reverbs and all of that information. I think it's a must-have manual, and I am surprised and disappointed that Yamaha didn't see fit to print this thing off and mail it to me when I bought my keyboard. It would have saved a lot of my messing around scrolling through the names of the voices on my keyboard trying to find something that I was looking for. Anyway, all right. What should we do next? Let's look at the iPhone iPad manual. This is a simple little thing. So this says, look, I've got an iPhone and I want to hook my iPhone up to my E463 keyboard, and I want to use GarageBand running on my iPhone, and I want to record songs in GarageBand. How do I do that? How do I hook up an iPhone? Well, you know, is your iPhone 2 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old? So this starts off by explaining the different kinds of connectors. And the nice thing about this is there's lots and lots of pictures. So depending upon, you know, what kind of a phone or what kind of an iPad or how old it is, it will tell you what do you need, what are the different ways. Here I'm using MIDI cables. Okay? So as you see, there's lots of different ways depending upon what hardware do you have so that you can hook that keyboard up to an iPhone or an iPad. Okay. It's not very big. It's only about, what, 17 or 18 pages? Let's see. It's only 17 pages long. Okay? So, if you don't care anything about an iPhone and an iPad hooking up to your keyboard, you can forget this manual. You don't need it. There's nothing here that you can't live without. Okay, let's look at the MIDI reference manual. 99.999% of us don't need this manual. I don't need this manual. I downloaded it and I went in and I looked at it and I said, I don't care about any of that stuff. First of all, I don't really understand it. I've been playing with MIDI for 34 years and I don't care about any of this stuff. And the odds are none of you do either. So here is a little 3-page manual you can pretty much forget. Don't waste your time downloading it unless you are a techno geek that is heavily involved in MIDI. Okay, then maybe you. Let's look at the songbook. And the songbook is exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to just scroll through. It is sheet music. And what are these songs? These are the 70 some odd songs that you can load into your keyboard and your keyboard will play them. They're demo songs. But if you read music and you know how, they at least give you the music to all of the songs, and so you could come in here and play along with them. If you don't care about reading sheet music or you don't know how, you know what? Forget it. This book, there's nothing in this book that you need. What you can do is just load in the songs and play them and enjoy them. Now, the other thing on that page was this folder. I'm going to open it up. Click, click. These are MIDI files. And what you have here are about, I think there's nearly 60. Yeah, there are 60 demo songs. And so what you do is you download this folder into your computer or your iPhone or iPad, and then you transfer these files into a thumb drive. And once you've got them on a thumb drive, you plug that thumb drive into your keyboard and you can load these songs into your keyboard. And once again, I have a YouTube video that explains how to load MIDI songs, MIDI files, off of a thumb drive and stick them in the internal memory of your keyboard and play them. So lots of songs here. And what these will do is they will really demonstrate just how good this keyboard is. These songs, these MIDI files, have a maximum of 6 different instruments in them. That's the limit of our keyboard. only 6 MIDI tracks that we can play at any one time. Okay, so lots and lots of files that you can load in and enjoy. Okay, so that's a quick review of the 6 owner's manuals, only one of which they gave us when we bought our keyboard. I highly recommend everybody at least download the data list, because once again, open it up. This is all of the songs and grooves and harmonies and reverbs and choruses and styles and voices. Tons of information in here can save you a lot of looking around and poking, trying to find a certain voice or a certain style. So if you only have 2 manuals, this is one you want, and obviously you want that owner's manual. So now you know there are manuals they didn't give you, but you can log on to their website, and in my comments I will leave that URL so that you can go right to the page. And let me see, where is it? Here it is. Let me load it again. When you come into it, it looks like this. And I will put this URL in my comments so you can just click on it and come right to this page. Once you get here, then scroll down, because down near the bottom here are the manuals, and here is the songbook, and here is this folder filled with the 60 MIDI demo songs that you can load in. I hope you have found this helpful. If you have, leave me a comment, because that's the only pay I get. I don't make any money. I don't do any of this for profit. Thank you for watching, and be well.